Time to get out of the vat again. Maybe next time I should sleep in a bed. I don't know. Kind of irritating to always have to clean up and dry all of the spacesuit when you get out of this. But yeah, anyway, so what did we do last time? I mean, before that we already finished and looked at our factory. It's not completely finished yet because we need to set up all the automation. But we can open and close the rooftop and control the arm and also our welder plate, so that needs to be automated later when we have our carrier ship done and built. But last time we built this passageway towards the now finished drone hub, which is very basic and also has the first drone in it. But yeah, first taking a look at the drone hub itself. It has 4 landing pads for now, can be extended further out towards the end, and a walkway on both sides to have a look around. And yeah, talking about the drone, this is what we built last time, but we have some changes here that I had to do off screen compared to the last episode, because I noticed some small design flaw. What we had before was the connector directly attached to the bottom of the container, and the thing is, this works in the original design that we had, but the problem is that when we dock to our mining facility and try to unload all of the ingots from there into our storage, it won't take all the ingots that are in the base, because the sorter of the mining facility is attached to its connector where the drone is sitting upon, and the sorter is basically pumping all the items into that connector, and only the overflow lands in the drone, in its connector first, and then when that overflows, then in the container. So to make sure our drone is taking all the available resources, we need to basically add a sorter after this connector that is pulling everything into the storage beneath or behind. So since we are only working with ingots for those drones and all the mining facilities, we can use small connectors as well. So that we have here at the top, which I can't really show right now because we are too much on the ground. So let's see, can we unlock and fly up a little bit into the sky? And then you can see here we have a small connector that is basically going out of the connector and into around the corner into the converter over here, which is then connected to the container. And we also have, which I can show in a second, some automation going on that is disabling one of the two, depending if we're docking here with the base or with the mining facility. And for the base, we have the large conveyor sorter right between the storage or the container and the connector. And when this one over here basically would be deactivated when we are home, let's see. So we would be docking with our home base. Our lights get turned off, and then now it's a bit difficult to see. Over here, this one is turned off, and the other one is kept on, but without drain all. So where is it? No, that's the wrong target. Here, drain all is off, because we do not want to push the items into the base. We want the base to pull them out of the drone using the goat inventory sorter. Only this way we can make sure that the items being delivered do not land in any kind of nearby storage, and when the container, the target container for keeping all the ingots, is full, it will not pull more items out of the drone, and make sure that the drone is just sitting here and waiting until the base has consumed all of its load before it travels back to the mining facility. So this one is just turned on, while the other one that is now deactivated behind here is set to drain all, so that when it connects to the mining facility, it will actually drain all the items until its own storage is full, or reaching the capacity of the configured PAM script. Now, talking about PAM, I did add a beacon here just to make sure we see the drone from a distance without consuming too much power. So even with 200 kilometers here, we only consume 20 kilowatt of power. A antenna with such a high range, which we can't even get to that value, would drain the batteries pretty quickly. So the antenna in here is only set to 1 kilometer so that when we are nearby we can control it. I might even reduce it further so that we don't have the signal nearby when it's at the mining facility, but that is enough already. And then we have 2 timer blocks here, one for home, cargo drone home timer, the other one cargo drone job timer, and those we can configure and PAM to be triggered whenever we dock with the home or with the job connector. And when that is done, we can then trigger basically the 2 sorters on and off in those timer blocks and nothing else. The lights being turned on and off and antennas being turned on and off beacon as well is handled through the event controller that is sitting over here. So this one is checking the connector. If it's connected, it turns off those parts, and when it's disconnected, it turns them on again, so that first of all we consume less power, recharging is faster, and we have less things going on in the base when it's docked. So yeah, then I would say next step is to configure this drone, and for that, first of all, I want to move it to a different place. And you can already see I've configured the toolbars as well. So the helm itself only has the entry for the remote control block, and the remote control block basically has all the controls that we need. Because then when we Shift K, and then we have the cargo drone here, and when we get to control, first of all we are looking out of the camera and we have all the menu bars at the bottom, same as if we would go to the helm and then use control from here. Alright, so without further ado, let's configure everything and record the path. So first of all, record path and set home, which now has connector 1 set for home, and we can turn off the connector so that the magnetic field isn't active and fly upwards. And we give it a bit more vertical space just to make sure that when we're doing anything with the factory we have still enough space to not get into the way. And then we move for our mining base. So that should now show connector 2 was set. 30 path count. Nice. And now we can stop recording. Set up shuttle job. So we want to leave connector 1, that is our home, when the ship is empty. Connector 2 is the mining base, so we want to have the ship full. And then connector 1, home, we trigger the home timer, and docking connector 2, which is the job position, is triggering the job timer. And that's it. And now we can start the job. And we are loaded with 17%, 18, batteries at 47%. So we should be loading up everything that is in the base. Right, empty. So cargo drone connector is being depleted into the drone. And then we have mining facility drone transport connector is the connector that the drone is attached to. And that is now being transferred into the drone. Yeah. So our drone has loaded everything that is possible from the base, which doesn't get it to 100%, but the main problem right now is anyway that the battery is now at roughly 50%, 48% right now, so it will need a lot of time to recharge anyway. And that means in the meantime we can reconfigure something in the mining drone, because I've noticed that we didn't quite configure it deep enough to actually get to the iron. Let's see. And here you can see it was just below. The iron was just below us. Okay, learning. Something I didn't know. If I just hit home pause now while being in this hole, it tries to go to the side, so I just quickly hit stop, move it out first, and then I will hit the home pause button. Which will now bring it back to its home position with a lot of iron loaded. 10k. That's not too bad. And there we are. So the drone is getting unloaded. And the refinery already started processing some of the items. And what's our drone doing? Maybe we can change that right-hand screen to show the battery charge rate. Alright, took me a while to configure that, but now we have the battery capacity, or how much is already charged, with 62%, and how much is going into the battery or out of the battery. I think this is going in, so 5.2%, I don't know. But anyway, this will take quite some time until it's fully charged, so I think since we are loaded up quite a lot with ingots, nearly 90%. Alright, so now I think the next step is to force it to go to the home position. So we hit 6 here, and that will now bring us back to our base. As you can see, I've also added some floodlights that are shining the way behind and in front of us, so that we can better see where we're going. Although with such a high flight angle, we barely produce any light on the floor. And the connector, you can see the one for output that is going down, not connector but the sorter, is red, and the other one is green because that is the configuration that we had for the mining facility, and in the home base they will basically toggle around. It's docked. Oh, but the sorters haven't been toggled around. That might be because I just set home position, but I didn't use... It wasn't the job that was being executed. We need to say continue job. Now that toggled the timer. So let's see. Oh yeah, it's already depleted. And ingots, we have now 53k ingots with us. That is good. That is really good. Alright, so I think that is working. Our drone will now charge up to 100% again, charging batteries. But that is nice and working. And yeah, this will be our first delivery drone. Or yeah, cargo drone. Now next I wanted to set up some automation for the lights here, the front and back lights of each of the slots, so that when the drone is here or nearing each slot, then the lights will turn on, and otherwise they would be turned off. So for that I thought we could maybe just use the downside here, or the underside. And I will configure the rest plus the lights and then show you what I wanted to do with it. Alright, so next we need to enable our sensor field range showing or visibility. We should have 3 of each now, yes. Alright, let's start with number 4. Actually, we can first select all the sensors and then show... Oh! And off it goes. Looks like it was already recharged. Goodbye. Alright, let's continue. So that doesn't look too bad. I did want to have that extended to the walkway so that when we are running around, the lights turn on and off. And for the width we only need to check the area where the drone would be landing in. And height-wise we can just use the maximum height so that it gets activated when the drone is already above us. And yeah, okay, if we're right in the middle here, both lights will turn off, but that's fine, I think. So, next step. Setup actions. Port 1 lights to be on when detected, off when not detected. Page 2, the same for the second light, on and off. And that's already it for those, so we can hide them. Now the next one. And now we just need to set the show on HUD off. And that's it. Now when we're walking around here, let's give it a quick run through. This one goes on, then off, next one goes on, and so on. Nice. Okay. That will look much better when the daylight is away and when we have night and the drone is coming in. Which currently is sitting there probably waiting for enough resources to carry over. But yeah, I think this is now complete and working the way it's intended. And we can have 3 more mining facilities and then can extend the thing further out to support more. Now let's see, what could we do next? There's still the secondary building to build, the second factory that would produce our drones, delivery drones and mining drones. And we also need to take care of the pirates nearby, but truth be told, I tried that a couple of times off screen and I failed every time. So I think that is for later once we have enough capacity and a better printer room here for yeah, vehicles of all kinds. But for today I thought we will design a new little exploration ship instead of using our rover. So we keep it parked outside for now and design something that we can fly around with and have a better look at the landscape, because going by with the rover is difficult, of course, because of the where is it? Because of the shape of the terrain, and when you get to a canyon you are basically stuck. So for today we will design a new vehicle. We can do the standard way. We start, as always, with landing gear. So going for the small grid, it will reuse the last alignment that you had, but this one is reversed. So let's turn around, face this way, then hit the button again to make it smaller and place it, and then you can just weld it up. And then it will be automatically locked to the ground and we can start building our vehicle from that. So let's see, what I usually try to start with is something that takes up a bit more space. So I think this makes more sense here. And I will remove the landing gear soon, it's just for the beginning. Then we have the need for a cockpit. And this one should fit perfectly into it. Alright, so those two things, then we need of course a battery. And that is behind here. Always I go with the warfare battery because I like the design. Place that at the back. Then we also need a thruster so that we know where to place something else. So we could go with this here. So if we go for this, then we can then add a connector somewhere in the space here to just connect into the wall maybe. And so we have front, back, up. What we still need is side thrusters. But what might be useful, first of all, is an antenna. We could have our ore detector, not the ore detector, but the action relay placed like so, and the gyro on the other side. Now, am I missing something else? Let's see, we have power at the back, we have thrust, we have a gyro, antenna, action relay in case we need to communicate with someone, we have a ore detector, we have landing gear in a moment, because for that I'm now using our piston over here. What I really would like to have is the seismic surveyor as a landing gear. Okay, now only these three. Alright, now what is missing is lighting. Right, not the nicest looking ship, but it is a ship, after all. Can we cover that? No, maybe we keep that part open to access the inventory. Yeah. Alright, let's give it a quick test. First of all, we need to be able to switch the lock here. Auto lock, switch lock, on off. Whoa, whoa, that goes up quite quickly. Maybe we did add too much power for upwards thrust. But on the other hand, it's good to use it like a quadrocopter and use that for a speed up forward. But yeah, we could probably have gone with much less upwards thrust. But hey, it works. Would be better to have a bit more battery capacity for the upwards thrust. If everything's active, we strain our batteries quite a lot. But it is working. But before we do that, first of all, we need to make sure that we can park this vehicle somewhere, and we also do need like brakes for upward thrust. Otherwise we might hit the ceiling at some point. So let's see which one makes sense. I know it's not the nicest design because it actually doesn't use any design, it's just flat out using all the different components here. But we could maybe give it a bit of a design and shape. And now we need a docking port. So connector, large grid, small connector, a small insert connector. And where could we place that? Okay, I have an idea. Let me park the rover and then see what we could do. So rover is parked. Now, do we have enough space at the top here? Using the conveyor tubes. So one further to the back. And then we can place our connector like so. Actually, the round tube might be even nicer looking in that place. But first of all, we need a connection point, and I have too many resources with me. And then the round tube like this, and our connector like that. Oh, shit. Ow. All right. Things happen. And I think I will have to rebuild that vehicle now. That comes from not saving and preserving the blueprint. Alright, then yeah. Give me a second or maybe a couple, and I will repair and rebuild that thing in a moment. So here we are. I have revised the design. Only 2 of the big thrusters upwards and 4 downwards, so that it's a little bit well, not evened out, but it has a bit of braking force. Oh, there's one unwelded block. And then, yeah, applied a little bit of design, moved the rear legs a little bit more behind, and hopefully this time around, yeah, we won't come crashing into the ceiling. So yeah, let's give it a quick test for height, if we can actually dock it here or not. I think that doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that would work. Alright, now next we need a way to access that vehicle. And for that, like I mentioned before, I was thinking of using the catwalks. Like so. Alright, so we can get up here, over this, and then we can enter the cockpit. That doesn't look too bad. Nice. So the only thing remaining is that we need to adjust our event controller to also listen for that new port or connector. Because then we can use another access panel maybe. Where is it? Like so. Why can't I pull components out of that port? Now this is another case where the tool from Build-Info, I think it was, is useful for conveyor network visualization. So just clicking that with a conveyor, we can see that this line over there is not connected to anything at all. Nice. Well, not really nice, but I did notice that. I must have cut this connection at some point. It was supposed to be connected with this conveyor here, but apparently it's not connected to anything at all. So we need to fix that. Yeah. Let's see, where does this go? This is the one over here. Ah, it was supposed to be connected with this port. Oh, that's easy to fix. We can keep it at that, I think. The only thing now that would be useful to have... Do we have still space over here? Not really on this side. But it's always nice to have a bit of a zooming feature when flying around. And then I want to replace that connector with the inset version. And on top we will place our top-mounted camera. Nice. Because this way we can actually view something with the zooming feature of the camera enabled, which you usually cannot do with your regular viewport. Okay, so let's give that thing a name. Now everything is configured. So we have a event controller that I added to the top. That one was still missing. It takes care of of enabling and disabling all the devices that we don't need when we are docked. So let's give that a try. Parking engaged, but the lights are still on. Did I reverse that somehow? Ah, no. Still one thing missing. Dock. Event controller. Connector locked, unlocked. Add block. So we are docked. And that turns off all the lights. The only thing that I keep on is the thrusters, because I do not trust the thing to enable them quick enough in the worst case when unparking, undocking. So to make sure that we don't fly down, or fall down, I mean, with our fly. I keep it this way, and then all the antennas and all the other things over here, except for the gyro, because I ran out of configuration slots, is kept on, or is toggled on and off depending. And I've also configured a second page with all the seismic tools, and we have them on the two screens that we have here. So I think with that the vehicle is done. Let's quickly grab a blueprint of it. In case we lose it, this time we have it saved. And then I think it's time to unload some of our stuff, and we can do a small fly around, although I bet it is getting dark right now, but doesn't matter. We can still do a test flight and have a look at the area. Okay. And yeah, it is already getting dark, but thing is, I wanted to find some more and bigger deposits. So these are the ones that we already had. I think we can hide the lake. And I wanted to have a look around what else we might be able to find here in terms of good resource deposits. But let's have a quick look at our mining facility here. Ah yes, our delivery drone is docked and probably recharging or waiting for more resources. And our mining drone is working on the next hole here. So for now, let's head out, and we have roughly, well, we have 8 minutes, but if we disable our dampeners and do manual control, so that we just have to take care of upwards thrust from time to time and forward, we can get that up to many hours actually. So let's go down, and we are locked. Let's do a scan. Alright, there's nothing nearby. Nice. Or is that... No, that's really nothing. Okay. Then we move on. There's one thing I'm honestly not sure about, which is if the Economy 2 update broke any of our ore deposits, but since we didn't find anything, I can only assume that it is still working. It's just that we are too far away from any useful deposits for our case. Ooh, a trading outpost. Let's pay them a visit in a moment. First, another scan. Still nothing. Now that is strange. Alright, let's go to the trading outpost. I only have 10k in SC in space credits, but maybe that's already enough to get something good for us. NBSL Training Outposts. What does that stand for? Nebulous Settlers. Very nebulous. And yeah, something else to mention that I didn't talk about yet is that I have disabled the Economy Plus mod again in this mod pack because the author decided to mark this as abandoned, or not abandoned, but outdated, or not being developed any further, because now that the economy update is out, that already covers some of the things that he tried to update in the old economy setup. Although it had more content in it and more interesting contracts, I can understand that move. It's just a bit sad, and since we cannot activate all the Economy 2 features in an existing save. Let's see. That is not looking... Wait a minute. Okay. Let's see. That might be still one of the stations that were created from that mod. I don't know if those got removed as well. Ah, nothing in. Space credits ATM. Huh. Okay. Oh, nice. So it is working. Hello. Hello there. Come on, nothing for me in here. I honestly didn't expect them to work. I thought we only have the old stations here. It's so sad that they didn't fix the audio, that it's only coming from one side. Oh, sorry, man. Sorry. I did not want to intrude there. Take your time. Although maybe come up with a way to close the door. I don't know. Not really my fault if you can't get some privacy. I didn't design that. But yeah, nice. Yeah, we don't really have anything that we... I'm wondering... Ah, okay. Grinding disabled makes sense. Yeah, there's nothing that we can take from here. Except for maybe... Nope. Nothing. Store. What does it have in offer? Alright, explosive engineer plushie. Ooh, but we don't have the money for that. Oh, fruit seeds. Let's maybe buy 2 of each type that we can get here. Oh, gas transporter. And vegetable seeds by frigate for a freaking price. Wow, okay. And a data pad, but that doesn't have... Does it have coordinates? Item search. Let's see. Oh yes, create GPS marker. That's still working like it used to. That is the UNDSC station, I assume. Show. It's 115 kilometers into that direction. That means that it's probably on the other side of the planet. Can we get some more database? Ah, that was the only one. Nah, too bad. But well, we got one more station. That is something to look forward to. Yes, hello, friend. I've heard that it's possible to capture them into your own ship by yeah, just a case like this where they are moving on the outside around. You can try to position your ship in a way that you could catch them and then fly off with them to your base or whatever and let them run around there. Apparently that works. Something to try for the future. Ooh, space credits. Shouldn't let that lie around like this. Anything else? No access, no access. Oh, access over here. Ah, well. Basic welder, flare gun magazine. Ah, why not? Hello! Oh, someone is sleeping in there. Can we still get access to his stuff? No. Hand drill, pistol magazine. Nothing too useful. Kitchen. Nope. And another bed. But nothing in there. And oh yes, engineer plushie. Nice. Shower. And nothing in that one either. I still can't remember. Can we get items? No, it doesn't have storage. Okay. I think that's it. I don't think there's any more to get from here. Now, where the heck was the exit? Here. Okay. Anything else here that is worth checking out? So this was going up. Okay, this is where we came from. I've been to those two buildings. Can we... Cash back. Deposit. And 661 deposit. Okay. So we're at 12,391. That is nice. I think with that it's better to head back, because after all we don't have endless energy, and I want to make sure that we save our plushie. Oh, that was a tree. Before we crash into anything. So off we go towards our base. Also another small... Yep. I tried. Another small cool thing to do is if we go to our control panel, and here's one of the forward thrusters. We can increase and decrease, then manually speed up to our desired speed. And then just keep that thruster at a low value. Oh. Stop. I want to visit that. Is that another crashed ship? Yes, it is. See, for that it's useful to have a camera on board. We cannot get too close to this, because I remember there was one... Yeah, I know, but the problem is There's one turret on top of that thing, or on the side at least. The top one might be broken, I can't remember from the other crash ship that we looked at. That is too dangerous for us because we don't have any weapons with us, and I don't want to risk dying here. So what I was about to say is you just get to your desired cruise speed and then just turn one of the thrusters to 5% into the forward direction and you can go basically hands off. You will still increase speed over time, but it's using so few power in this case, or hydrogen if you have a hydrogen vehicle, that it's really nice to have a like screensaver-esque experience here, not having to hold down any of the buttons, and then you can just decrease the thrust again and that's it. If it's in disabled mode, then it works like usual and will react to your input. Again, this is a good case to just use the dampeners off, because then you only need to either give thrust upwards or forward, and the vehicle will just preserve its inertia. While when you have dampeners on and you give forward thrust, you basically move into two directions at the same time. Something that is then consuming quite a lot of energy. And now that we have something flying, we could also increase the reaction zone of our sensor a little bit on the height, so that can react towards to our ship. And we're docked. And I think this is it already for this episode, and yeah, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you haven't done so, and see you back on Earth.